Om Shri Sai Ram. Dear listeners, it's indeed an honor and pleasure for me to welcome and very briefly introduce the rocket woman of India, Dr. Mrs. Ritu Karidhal, a very highly accomplished woman scientist working with the Indian Space Research Organization. Mrs. Ritu Karidhal is a senior scientist in the Indian Space Research Organization with a key role in realizing the Mars Orbiter mission, the MOM as we all know, which created history of being the first mission to reach Mars in its first attempt. Presently, she is mission director of Chandrayaan 2. Mrs. Ritu did her MSc in physics from Lucknow University and then MTech from the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore in aerospace engineering. She joined ISRO in the year 1997. She's worked for many prestigious missions of the ISRO and also handled responsible positions for many missions. Being the deputy director of MOM, she, along with her team, was responsible to execute the critical operations of leaving Earth and capturing Mars, which could be realized flawlessly. Being the mission director of Chandrayaan 2, she was responsible to execute the mission operations from liftoff till reaching the moon. Mrs. Ritu has published more than 20 papers both in the international and national journals. She has been a recipient of many awards, including the Young Scientist Award in 2007, conferred on her by APJ Abdul Kalam, the then President of India, ISRO Team Award for MOM in 2015, ASI Team Award, Women Achievers in Aerospace Award in the year 2017 by the Society of Indian Space Technologies and Industries, the Baroda Sun Achievement Award by the Bank of Baroda. Very recently, Mrs. Ritu has received honorary doctorate degree from the Uttar Pradesh Governor, Mrs. Anandi Ben Patel at Lucknow University, Lucknow, and also the IISc Alumnus Award in 2019 at Bangalore. Dr. Ritu, you are our special guest today at the Easwaramma Puraskar Samarambha that was held a little while ago at Bhagawan Sri Satya Sai Baba's Brindavan Ashram in Whitefield, Bangalore. This was held by the Mahila Vibhag of the Sri Satya Sai Seva Organizations, Karnataka. Tell us what it was like for you to be a part of this function.
I'm extremely humbled and thankful to Sri Satya Sai Seva Organization Committee to invite me and allow me to witness such a huge celebration where I could see the women belonging to a very humble background doing the huge amount of work and working for the society. I was very overwhelmed. I should say I was very much overwhelmed. I remember I came 22 years back to this ashram with my friends, and that time I had the fortune of seeing the Babaji. And after so many years, when I come and I see the same, calm and peaceful environment and the background, so much huge amount of work for the benefit of the society, I'm very humbled and overwhelmed, yes, today.
That's very nice to hear that this was a revisit for you in some sense.
Yes.
Very nice. Let me begin by asking you a couple of very socially relevant questions. As you would know, encouragement from parents and immediate family is vital for anyone to give wings to their dreams. So please share with us glimpses of your journey from your student life to your maiden job.
Very good question, Yes, I totally believe in this. For a woman to come up, it is this family, the parent who can provide the support. Otherwise, it's very impossible. In my childhood, since my childhood, I had the fascination towards space. Sometimes when I remember, when I used to travel with my parents from one place to another, and we used to see the moon is moving with us, that sort of questions used to arise in my mind. So I used to ask my parents why the moon is coming behind us, why it's following us. And that sort of anxiety and the questions to know, the curiosity to know about what is behind this dynamics, And my parents understood that. They always supported me because since childhood I had this a passion towards mathematics or science and physics, and they understood, they supported me. I remember those long hours, night hours, when I used to study, and then my mother also was like, she also was preparing for the exam. She used to always be awake and preparing tea in the regular intervals, and then always, behind me. So yes, they supported a lot, my mother, my father. But then in year 1997, when I got the intimation letter that I have to join ISRO. And ISRO, one of the leading centers, it had in Bangalore. But Bangalore, the distance, 22 years back, today we think that it's very short distance. You can just board a flight and within 2 hours you will be there. But that time it was not so. It was like you have to board a train, you have to change train to some other station in the late nights, and then again catch the another train and come here, and used to take 2.5 days. And at that time, for my parents to decide to send their daughter to such a unknown far unknown place, it was a tough decision. Yes, but they showed their utmost confidence in their daughter, and that's how I'm here. So I fully believe that the support by family, by parents, and after that, once you go for job and you get married, and a lot of responsibilities come with that. But then you have to play a role of a homemaker as well as in office. You have to execute your job. But this is not easy task. It is highly, I feel, impossible if your husband or your family members don't support at that time.
Absolutely.
So yes, and I just would like to say that yes, all those parents and the spouse to support their daughter, their wives, and then so that they also can come up and realize their dreams.
Very nice. So what started off as a curiosity ended up becoming some sort of a fantasy, which then became your profession, very well supported by the family setup.
Yes.
Very good. I'd like to say that subjects like physics, mathematics, and perhaps disciplines like aerospace engineering and so on, there is a very global perception, if I may say, that it's a very male-dominated sort of an area. The science part of it and the technology part of it both. So for someone like you, what was it like to pursue these sorts of fields and not just pursue but excel in them?
The question is like what I would like to say, it is not the subject what matters. It is your passion towards that subject.
Very
Whether
well said.
it can be a simple subject like some sort of history or any social science or a science or a physics or aerospace. How much passionate you are for that subject. So as my experience says, because I had the interest, I wanted to do something, so I pursued it with some hard work and perseverance. And if that is there, it doesn't matter which subject you outshine, and every subject I feel has their own importance.
Absolutely.
So for me, the thing what I would like to say is whatever passion a person has, whether it's a man or a woman, if they follow it, that subject itself can outshine other subjects. It can benefit the society in a more proper way. So I feel what is more important is your perseverance and passion rather than the complexity of the subject.
Very well put. It reminds me, Bhagwan Baba says there are 3 P's which stand for patience, purity, and perseverance. So what you're trying to perhaps convey is that it's the passion along with these 3 P's that take us to where we would like to go.
Yes.
And I'm sure a lot of these that we just spoke about, passion, patience, perseverance, and so on, they would have been deeply ingrained in you subconsciously or consciously. So just tell us the role that perhaps patience and perseverance have played alongside passion.
Yes, that is a very important thing, because sometimes some situations arise, some circumstances are not they are not
Favorable.
favoring you.
Sure.
And then in your subconscious mind, you may be having that zeal to do it, but then your outside world is not allowing it. But then that time your patience work. So if you are really patient enough not to get perturbed by the outside world, just keep doing your things and have some more. I mean, it may not be like today I will have to get the results. Maybe it may happen tomorrow, it may happen day after tomorrow.
Sure.
We should not give up. So continuous perseverance with the patience really is an important part, an important aspect of life, to gain anything. Don't get perturbed by the outside disturbances and keep continuing with patience and perseverance.
Sure. So stay focused and
Yes.
have a never give up attitude.
Yes.
Very well said.
I would like to say one more thing here.
Sure.
In Mahabharata, in Gita, the Krishna has said that karmanye vadhikarastu ma phaleshu kadachana. So we have to keep doing our work, with patience, with our perseverance, without worrying about the fruit. And then at the end, Almighty will surely give you what you deserve.
Sure. What do you think is the role that discipline has played in your entire makeup?
Yes, I am a person who really believe in discipline, because anything when you are doing, it has to be properly charted out, like what I should do from since morning till night. It should not go in a haphazard way. Everything has to be worked out in a very systematic manner, and we need to follow the discipline, basically the time management. For women, it is a very, very impossible if we don't do time management. And that can come only with the discipline. So that is very much important, how to do what work, to do what time, and how much time to devote, and which type of work we should do. That time management is very important factor for, at least I feel, women to work. So that comes when you are a disciplined person. So that is a very important part of
Sure. Is there a thumb rule for time management that you have, or is it just you take it as it comes?
No, it's not as it comes. We need to plan little bit ahead. Suppose, what I understand is, for example, for my kid, if there is an exam, and if we have to, we always used to make it in advance, what I need to do for him, when I should sit with him, when I have to make a timetable for him, and all these I should chart out in advance.
Sure.
I should plan it so that I can make him to sit and work on it. Similarly, in office, if some work is to be done, for example, the deadline is given, I should plan it well in advance. That yes, so everything has to well planned and managed. It's not that when the work is there, that time only you do. It's not so. We need to do a planning. So the important thing is the planning is to be done in advance, so that you can do the work in time.
And what sort of a role does prioritization play in all of this?
Yes, prioritization is also very important. So it all matters. Like sometimes we have some project works which are very, very important, and we need to give our full time to that project. So at that time, that becomes a priority. But then at certain other times, when kids have exams, or we have some certain functions or events at home, we need to give attention to those things. So priority is depending upon the requirement.
Sure.
So as the requirement comes, we need to prioritize our things.
So priority and prioritization and time management are key for one's success.
Yes.
Absolutely. You are an inspiration to many youngsters, particularly young women in India, who might want to pursue a career in science and technology and serve the country, not just pursue a career and then just leave the country and go, but serve the country. So what is it that you would like to tell them, or a couple of tips that you would like to share with them for them to latch on to what they want to do within the country?
Yes. For the girls and the women, the science and technology is one of the fields where lots of innovations can be done. a lot of new things can be made or can be brought in, so that the society will gain a better way of living, a better for example, like I would say that one of the program, like in a space program itself, one of the computer program which was written for some of the space application, when it was used in medical sciences, it did a better job in detecting the early stage of breast cancer.
Okay.
So the science and technology is something which is very important in today's world, and when the 50% of humanity belongs to women, and if we don't come and contribute to science and technology, it is like 50% of our sources are not at all used, that way it becomes. So I would say that the science and technology, or any engineering or any subject, it's not a very complex subject, but yes, when we have passion, we can continue doing something, continue our hard work, and persistently following it up. It will really bring out, because for example, if I talk about space technology, when we go to space technology, you will see like satellites are going in space. What they do, what do they do, why I need a satellite in space? But today's world without satellite, it is difficult to imagine. Some 20-25 years ago, why we are flying the satellites? But today, if you talk of telecommunication, you talk of navigation, you are using GPS in your Android
map. Perhaps help
app.
You to get to this
Yeah,
place
to the
very easily.
space. You talk of tele-education, where the smart classes can be made, where the teachers cannot reach to the remote areas or villages or any other place. Smart classes can be arranged through tele-education. Telemedicine. So all these things are applications of space science. So if I would have thought like, what will I do, simply sending satellite, and but then it is for the benefit of a common man, so this is really important for any and developing nation. This becomes more important, because we have to provide the good life, I mean at least a very comfortable, not very comfortable, but very simple life, and without much problems. Then it is important that we should reach to a common man. This all technology should reach to a common man. So this is the area. Not only then, for example, any other, if you take like computer science or like any other, so these are providing lot of applications which are getting utilized by a common man for their betterment of their life.
Sure. So what you're saying is, alongside the mainstream of science and technology that we are supposed to be looking at, the spin-offs also matter a lot.
Yes.
And they bring about a lot of
changes.
And
there are still a lot of things, new horizons to be discovered, because I don't think we have done even 10% of what we need to do and what we can do. So a lot of things to be lot of things to be invented and discovered still, So there are a lot of scope for young scientists, young girls to do in future.
Sure, that reminds me, the particle physics laboratory in CERN, although it sounded like a very, very expensive hobby to do science in a setup like that, if you look at it today, most of medical imaging came from there.
Yes.
And the way people are benefiting is beyond any sort of articulation.
Yes.
So it's the spin-offs that matter.
Yes. So we should see that what we study today is really going to bring a lot of applications tomorrow.
I must say that it's indeed a challenge beyond articulation, perhaps, to have a job that you are passionate about. The job is challenging, demanding, fulfilling, and impactful all at the same time. But now, this is not a standalone system where you just do this and do nothing else. So there has to be a very, very strong support system that lets you do this at every perhaps stage of your life. And what do you think that support system is for you, and how do you leverage that?
Yes, this question becomes very much relevant to a woman, may not be relevant to man, but yes, it is very much relevant to a woman, where you have to execute all your responsibilities at two different places. One is at home, one is at office, and then the third place for society. So if their support system is not there with a person, it is not possible to execute all three at the same time with equal passion. And my support system has been my family, earlier my parents, and now my husband, my kids also. You know, sometimes when you are tired, you come back home, and then they all just run and grace you and embrace you. And at that time they don't show that anger or something. They just happily just come to you. And that all that energy, what we get from them, that becomes a very important support system, because sometimes we are exhausted.
Absolutely.
We are exhausted by a lot of activities, no breaks.
We live a world of deadlines and deliverables.
Yes, and then when you
basis.
get in between some pieces of this energy giving moments, that really help you, and that supports a lot. And so a family support is very important, family, and then friends, and then well-wishers, if they are there always behind you in some time of requirement, they are always standing beside you. So that's a very important thing. So that is, yeah.
We'll switch gears a little bit. I'd like to ask you about the skill development opportunity, the opportunities to create scalable and sustainable and executable models for women empowerment are the need of the day. I'm sure you'll agree with that. So what would you like to say about what and how would you as a person like to contribute to that? Given the vantage position you are in?
Yes, because I understand that I belong to a system where a lot of activities are going on in this present world. And then if I am able to at least reach out to the people, mainly reach out to the girls, reach out to the women who can understand this, what and all we are doing, and what is possible to do further in future. So, having the interactive sessions with them, going out and reaching out them in some maybe small villages on the programs like these. So these programs and these events and participating in these events, they also are a good means of reaching out to people and then making them, encouraging them for their continuous work. For that is what is important. So I feel getting associated with such events, and also the work like what Satya Sai Seva organization is doing, and some of this NGOs and the social community which they do, that is a real part where really the society needs such type of reaching out to people basically. So that is very important. So that is a mode of having a sustenance development. So that is what I think is more important. What you do, it should reach out to people, they should get aware of it, and they also should be able to utilize it further.
Sure. So educate, enable, empower.
Yes.
This seems to be the mantra of the new India
Yes.
that we have gotten to see
Yes.
in our
Yes.
prime times. So what are those one or two things that we could actively participate in and enable this entire empowerment?
Basically what I feel right now for empowerment for women, basically I understand, yes, nowadays we say beti bachao, beti padhao, so all these things I am seeing in big cities, in metro cities, we all nowadays seeing girls are really far exceeding even sometimes, in education or in jobs, but this all needs to go into the far village.
Sure.
To the far remote places. So our major section of the society lies there, major part of the country which belongs to village and town. So what we do here, it should reach out to them. And that then if we are able to make development or a progress at the grassroots level, then only we can say our development is going to sustain.
Sure.
So that is what I feel. We should have programs or projects which are more focused on the grassroots level development. So that is what I feel some things is required to be done more and more.
In that direction, do you participate in any of the outreach programs and so on?
Yes, yes. So in our office, some of the programs are, they arrange, and I used to go. Even my college, my colleagues, my colleagues say, how you can manage to go? You have so much work, but still you want to. How
Sure.
you will, but then I like to get some time and reach out to them, so that at least my little part I can do. So
Like
yes.
you said, passion drives
Yeah,
everything.
so somehow I managed to go out and then participate and make things people aware of it.
That's very
So
nice.
that way I'm trying to do little from my side.
Very nice. You are someone who is spiritually inclined, is what I get to understand. So tell us what spirituality means to you and how do you manage to keep yourself connected to that vibe and so on?
Uh, for me, I feel what is more important is, as we all know, that three things: body, mind, and soul. So when they are in coherence, and when they all three are in coherence, we can do wonders.
Sure.
And for me, like my day starts with the religious act like puja I do daily without fail. I would like to, because that one activity gives the energy for a full day.
Absolutely.
So you can have a small time where we can sit quiet and do some shloka and then do some meditation. It brings your, as you told, all these three strings together, and then when they are together, when they are in coherence, you can feel that positive energy to come out, and then you start your day and start your work. So that always helps you. So I always been doing like this, and so I believe in it.
And you think that has helped you?
Yes,
in a very
yes.
big way?
When we are at the time of very, so much of pressure from outside and things and like that, but still you keep calm and quiet. So that is what helps.
Sure.
That
You
surely
just do
helps.
what you're supposed to do without having to worry about
That surely helps.
what
Yes.
comes out of it.
Yeah.
Very well said. You did allude to your visit to this ashram many years ago with your friends. So tell us what yours and your family's exposure to Satya Sai Baba has been, or his previous avatar has been.
Yes, my actually I came here some 22 years ago, as I told earlier, and because I have that inclination towards spirituality and making, not basically like when you go and you listen to so many good things, and when I came that time, I told you I had this fortune of having darshan of Sainji. My family, they are the ardent devotee of Shirdi Sai. They regularly visit there. I am not able to, I couldn't get time to go, but yes, I want to go. But yes, what I feel is more than that, the work done by this organization, the social work done by this, like medical facilities given to poor, totally free, then education. This is something, it is overwhelming for me to see this, and I always pray to God that yes, and I'm feeling today blessed for getting opportunity and coming here and witnessing so many good things. So yes, that way I feel, yes, very much thankful to the Satya Sai organization to giving me this time today.
That's our pleasure too. It's actually been fantastic talking to you.
Thank
And on behalf of the organization, I'd like to thank you for taking out time out of your incredibly busy schedule and making time to participate in the function and then talk to our listeners as well. Before I say goodbye to you for today, what are those couple of things that you would like to leave our listeners with?
Yes, I would like to say that I told earlier, have the passion and the perseverance. And what Babaji told, patience, and always keep doing things with your full hard work and perseverance. That is what is more important. Sometimes I feel that our women society or girls, they, because of so much of pressure, they try to give up their what they used to do and what they want to do. But one thing I would say that don't give up any time. You know, there are times, good times and bad times. Bad times go, good times come. That all happens. But keep doing, keep pursuing your dream. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much.